What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires Know. I'm sure no sooner did you read the headline that Batman's canceled last night, did your mind immediately jump to the reasons why this could be. I started reading quotes like the movie is irredeemable from certain sources, but really what this spells is bad news and confusion for certain fans looking from the outside in. When you get to the bottom of it and with the sources that have come out, especially this morning and in the wake and aftermath of this, what it really sounds like is Batgirl was caught right in the middle between what the old CEO wanted to do and what the new CEO is trying to do. And so for those of you wondering why was this canceled and what does it mean for the Flash, while there are a ton of quotes being taken out of context we will talk about during this video, ultimately this sort of looks and sounds like good news for WB and DCEU fans, not bad news. We're going to cover all of it and get it explained so you understand what's going on at WB and where the heck their new universe is headed under this brand new CEO. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We normally do daily Marvel content, but sometimes when stories like this rear their head in the comic book cinema industry, we cover them as well. Anyway, we do that daily industry insider scoops, Easter eggs, breakdowns. You guys know what it is. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below that will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So Batgirl, which was indeed directed by the two guys who did Miss Marvel, ended up getting canceled last night, and there were immediate quotes about the movie being irredeemable, being horrible, but really, it seems as though that wasn't the case at all. To explain it point blank, what it seems like is the brand new CEO under their most recent merger, Zaslav, has a very different idea about how he wants to go about their content, especially huge marquee content, the likes of Batgirl. But unfortunately, his plan now is to compete with Disney by not doing simul releases day and date the same way that they did with Dune. Basically, the old CEO believed that the real way to compete with Disney and in the industry was to go after subscriptions on HBO Max. So he was totally okay taking movies that should have been theatrical releases only in Dune and putting them out on HBO Max the same day. He wanted to drive subscriptions. Another huge reason he was all behind putting out the Justice League Snyder Cut, again on HBO Max. But when the new CEO took over, he wants to go with a more traditional route, the same way Disney is putting out huge things on Disney Plus, but only after they've hit the theater first, meaning for something like The Flash or movies going forward in the DCEU like Batman, you put them out in theaters first for a theatrical run and then add them to HBO Max, not all in on the subscription services. Now the problem with Batgirl is that it fell right in the middle. With a budget of almost $100 million that included the post-COVID reshoots, it unfortunately isn't ready and big enough for theater, but isn't exactly what they want to do at HBO Max. And so what it was looking like, and this according to many sources this morning, is that the film was about another $100 million from being able to compete on a theatrical level. And one way that you can make $100 million is by not spending it and looking at that project, deciding right where it was at, what it was, and the money already spent on it. It made more sense for the movie studio to cancel that movie and not put it out at all. Basically not spend another dollar on it because it fell in the no man's land of being maybe too big and not ready for HBO Max the way they want with that content, but not being big enough to put out on a theater. And I know there are a lot of you who go, yeah, but they already spent $100 million. And if you have a $100 million asset and you can just put it out on HBO Max, you don't have to spend another dollar to just put it there. Very little marketing. In fact, the only marketing you have to do is say it's coming out and market it on HBO Max, which would all be free. Why don't you just put it out anyway? Well, that's where the other quotes come from and make you wonder just about the quality of the project. And yes, while I don't put a lot of stock in people who say stuff like the movie was irredeemable, it was horrible, you have to imagine as well, though, there is a quality control that goes into this. And with the reshoots, putting it at $100 million, and if it maybe needed another $100 million to be a good enough movie for them deeming worthy to put out, then you have to imagine there may have been some things intrinsically with that film that just aren't good enough for it to serve on HBO Max or the theater. But keep in mind, the WB is way bigger than Sony. They're way bigger than a lot of theater houses. And so where normally this would be a huge detrimental blow to a smaller company, production company, or film house, they can afford to draw a line through things like this and say, nope, we're not going to do that. It saves us money. Don't put that out. Now, a lot of fans immediately wondered if this meant that next on the chopping block was The Flash, because again, alongside all these rumored quotes about Batgirl not being good, it was basically the new CEO, Zaslav, just wants to do his things his way, and why in the world would he take a headache like what he inherited with Ezra Miller's latest media headlines? And we covered that in a different video, but really I think that's two totally different things going on. Really, from a quality control basis, and if the movie is already finished and good, as long as they can corral that and do damage control, if they have that asset in The Flash and can still put it out, they're probably going to. Now, I've said before, who's going to go to the theater and feel good about supporting that movie given the state of the DCEU and what's come out about Ezra Miller? I'm not sure. Who knows what's going to happen with that, but if that movie's eventually going to be pulled or canceled, I think it'll have to do with what's going on with Ezra Miller, not because of the quality control of the film. And while again, WB will come out, the sources will come out and say, hey, it just didn't have a place in the release schedule. It's more of the CEO has a new strategy that he's going with, and Batgirl didn't have a place. You have to imagine again with a $100 million asset, and if it's ready to go, yeah, it might have not quote unquote had a place, but maybe because it's QC as well. And that's why I think Ezra Miller's Flash, as long as the film is inherently good and can be put out, if the headlines die down between now and the release date next year, and they think that they can make their return plus some, they'll go forward with that, especially all it's rumored to do in rewriting and setting up the DCEU. But with Batgirl, if it's just already bad and needs another $100 million to find a place, then it's just easily scratched off. Alongside the other, I think it was a Scooby-Doo holiday haunt movie, they scratched it $40 million. And I know those numbers are just absurd for us to hear about them, just throwing away $100 million on a film that they're never going to release. But one flip side of that coin is that the actors, the directors, the writers, the talent that worked on that film, the industry, still got paid to make it. And while, some contracts may have included back end on the gate, meaning, the directors, the lead actors, they have a percentage that they get back if the film gets released, I guarantee you there was verbiage in there that makes it so that the studio house ultimately has the call on that. So while they may have lost money on the back end, basically what I'm saying is the project got done, the project got made, the people got paid to make it, and then ultimately as an asset for that studio house, they are choosing not to release it, which is what they're in the right. And honestly, I do the same thing. I record songs with different producers, and there's a kill fee for a reason, and sometimes the songs get finished and then I just never release them. It happens. It's part of the industry in making art. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below, if this even deters you at all from WB, or if you're already pretty fed up with it, and where, if you still have interest in it, does your interest lie? Is it because of the newest Batman movie this year, or the upcoming Black Adam, or the possible return of Henry Cavill? I am all ears. Let me know down in the comments. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s every 20,000 subscribers, all the way up to 1 million. The next giveaway is 980, which we are headlong into, could easily hit by month's end. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And of course, if you like today's video, hit the like button. The only thing you have to do, however, to be entered to win is be a subscriber and leave a comment. And because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my original music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.